Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get More Clients. I'm your host, Lynn Whitbeck. Business owners and entrepreneurs hire me to ignite winning sales because most are chasing down leads, lack client retention, conversion, and profits. The mission of this show is to educate, inspire, and motivate women around the world to build a robust sales strategy to get more clients because most can't get more clients and haven't a clue why. You will learn to transform thinking to the client's perspective, eliminate the lengthy, chaotic sales cycle to ignite your sales and unleash lasting profits. You will also have the opportunity to connect with me further to see how I can support you beyond today. We had this incredible first meeting and just all the information that was a really great fit for the client and for us on how we could help and serve them and create impact for their business. But after that initial meeting, I wasn't able to reconnect with the client. They weren't returning my calls, responding to my emails, and even when I would send something different. So I went through my standard follow-up cadence. Now, this is a 13-step cadence, and I would leave a voicemail with value, and I would use my triumphant triangle so that whatever that piece of value was, whether it was an article, it was a podcast episode, it was a new white paper, if it was a valuable piece of breaking news, trending news in the industry, whatever that happened to be, I would then send that in an email immediately after the voicemail. I mean, I assumed I'd get a voicemail. You never know, someone can pick up the phone, so you want to be prepared. And then I would follow up again 3 business days later with either a DM or a LinkedIn message or a text message. So that's the triumphant triangle. We're going to talk about that more today. But I would send a fax with information. You may be surprised, but faxes are still a really unique place, and we'll talk about that more. But with each stage, I sent a package. I sent another voicemail, but I was always brought the energy and enthusiasm and value as I was following up the conversation. Now, this was a huge corporation and a very big potential sale. So at step 12 in my cadence process, I would send a meeting invitation for a lunch. Now, this would require me to travel, and the client accepted that meeting invitation and, in fact, included a quick note saying, "Looking forward to seeing you." So I followed up with a confirmation that I had booked my travel and I would be arriving and what time I would be in the building to pick him up to take him to lunch. Asked if there was any place specific he'd like to go to, or I would select the location. And sure enough, did not receive a response, but I booked my travel. I flew in, got my rental car, went and picked him up, and he came trotting right down. And we went out to lunch. And it was a 3-hour business lunch. And the first thing he told me was, I was so impressed by all of the outreach and the follow-up that you did. And he said, I'm just embarrassed that I have been so busy and it's always putting out fires that I wasn't able to respond. But every time you gave me another piece of information that helped me frame how we could work together and what this solution would look like. And it's been very helpful. So I'm so glad that we're getting together today. And there it was. We had this fantastic meeting and we moved the sale forward for a massive multi-million corporate account. And that's the key with follow-up. And you need to stay persistent and go after that potential sale, especially when you've already ascertained that it's a win-win. So last week, I shared, when does an ebook deliver effective sales results? And you guessed it, today, we're going to reveal why your fortune really is in the sales follow-up. Let's face it, salespeople, business owners, entrepreneurs, you're busy. And I don't care what anyone says, most are terrible at follow-up. Yet 50% of sales happen after the fifth follow-up. By the end of today's show, you will know how to use follow-up finesse by taking the lead in your client relationships. Position your follow-up objectives to attain a minimal actionable commitment from the client or prospect. Always emphasize delivering value within your follow-up processes. The brutal truth is an inconsistent or non-existent follow-up strategy slows down or kills the sales process, resulting in lost opportunities. So we're going to talk about a few stats here, and these may interest you to know. 48% of salespeople never make a single follow-up attempt. That's 48%. Think of all of those lost opportunities. 44% give up after a single follow-up, and it doesn't get any prettier. 92% give up after no sales on the fourth call. Yet, if you caught what I said just a few minutes ago, 50% of sales happen after the fifth follow-up. So it's absolutely critical that you have a follow-up strategy in place. It's all too easy to be distracted with existing clients, hot leads, and the day-to-day workload. To achieve follow-up finesse, you need to know why your client wants to buy. In absence of knowing the desired destination, you're selling them what you have, not what they want, need, or lack. So this is what you need to find out. What concern are they trying to address? What problem are they solving? What benefit they desire? How will the benefit serve them? Why does it matter to them? The bottom line is you need to know the answer to so they can. So they can what? What's the big outcome? And you know, this is client thinking. And this is the cornerstone of your sales strategy. Now, the second step is to actually follow up. Yeah. The brutal truth is an inconsistent or non-existent follow-up strategy slows down or kills the process. And I've already talked about this. It results in lost sales and lost opportunities. So let's dive into follow-up finesse. And it's grounded by taking the lead in your client relationships. It establishes the DNA of what it will be like to work with you. So just like the story I started from my corporate career as a VP of global sales, it is absolutely critical that you are establishing that like, know, and trust factor as you're working with them, as showing them what it's going to be like to work with you, that you're going to come with energy, that you're going to deliver value, that you're going to keep it short and sweet and to the point. You want to retain your superpower in the client journey by integrating relationship personalization in every element of your follow-up objectives. So what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is when you use templates, which we're going to be talking about, and you've created your sales cadence strategy and the pieces that you're going to use, you still need to customize it for the individual. People can tell when they've been put into some kind of horrible drip campaign and it's an automation and they don't like it. It's human to human, people to people relationships. So leverage your client thinking for your planned interactions. And follow-up is part of your client journey as you guide them to a decision. There are 4 primary follow-up stages. When your prospect is a lead, after you've had that initial meeting or discovery call and ascertained that it's a win-win, after you have provided a proposal or presentation, and after the sale. Think of each stage as your nurturing bucket. You need a process in place to capture and nurture your prospects. So this could be a CRM. It can be a spreadsheet, a Google sheet. It can be however you want to capture and nurture your prospects and make sure that you're creating that cadence for follow-up and the next steps. Now, very few prospects are ready to buy on the spot. And in fact, if you'll recall from our core personality training, less than 18% really are ready to buy right away. Most people need more information and time to evaluate the decision, and especially when they work for a business, because they're considering how that's going to impact their organization. Even though it's their decision, it's a bigger decision than just theirs, right? So, however, I want to be very clear, with persistence, you will be able to ascertain that client may be ready to purchase in a month, in 3 months, 6 months, or a year, or even 2. It's that staying in contact and building that relationship and the like, know, and trust. You follow up with finesse, and it's your pathway to the next logical step in your prospect's journey. The bottom line is follow-up results in an engagement or a sale. So let's talk about position objectives. Position your follow-up objectives to attain a minimal actionable commitment from the client or prospect. Now, I call these Macs, and not the Apple computer Mac. Minimal actionable commitments are where the client, in the case that of the story I said, they accepted the invitation for the lunch. All right, that's a minimal actionable commitment. Another minimal actionable commitment could be when you're in a meeting that you set a date for the next meeting. When you have them right there and then, always take advantage of that opportunity to schedule the next meeting and get it on the calendar. Now, a minimal actionable commitment could also be that they are going to follow up themselves with another team member or make an introduction. Once again, do that while you have them on the call so you can schedule that next meeting with that individual that you need to talk to. A minimal actionable commitment is just that. It requires your prospect to take some small action so that they can guide their decision forward, as well as help you move the sale forward. Now, you need to have a well thought out plan to get these desired results. And I've been talking about that since the beginning of the show. So your follow-up strategy needs to speed up the sales process while avoiding the pitfalls of opportunities slipping through the cracks. And to do that, you must understand your target audience, that ideal client avatar. Get in their head. And that's what client thinking and your ideal client avatar do for you. And it enables you to really tap into them so that your prospect is aware they have a problem, concern, or pain you can solve. Plan your communication. Use motivations, emotions, and the right message to connect to where they are and where they want to be. Now, you want to also mix up your outreach mediums. People respond to different forms of communication at different times. In my story, who eventually was a client, at the time my prospect responded to a meeting invitation. So there's all kinds of different ways that you can do this. Of course, there's picking up the phone. I'm a real believer in picking up the phone. Plan to get your voicemail, but be prepared if they answer. Okay. Email. We all know, send an email. A fax. Now, if a business has a fax machine, this is actually a really unique way to get in touch with someone, and we're going to talk about that. Social media messages, so you can DM someone, whether it's on LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, wherever they hang out, maybe where you first made the connection and created the spark. You can use video and voice messages. These are especially effective on LinkedIn. And I love using voice notes on LinkedIn because they're still quite unique. People are not, they like, oh, wow, somebody sent me a voice note. they're far more likely to click and listen when they see that. Just think about all the messages you get on your LinkedIn. I almost never get a voice note from someone or a video note. And when I do, it grabs my attention and I look at it. You can mail a card or a package. So let's talk about that example of a fax. And you're going to say, really, a fax? If you're selling B2B and that's a business, most likely they still actually have a fax machine. And the beauty of it, it's actually uncommon these days to receive a fax. Of course, it depends on the type of business, but who you're selling to, this could be something unique. The great thing about a fax is it's going to be delivered right to their desk. And they're going to be going like, holy heck, look at this. I'm grabbing a piece of it. Look, I just got a fax. And make sure it's on a single page and you schedule a callback. So use the fax to give the information, deliver the value, short, sweet, to the point, and schedule a callback. And then you call them back when you told them you were going to be calling them back. All right. Now, with all of this, you're going to be creating and customizing templates for the emails, the voicemails, the audio notes, the videos, the direct messages, and the notes that you will mail. So when you're doing that, remember, you have to create this template so that you can then quickly and easily grab and go, customize it for this particular client, and be able to use it. You want to plan what you're going to say. Now, when you're leaving that voicemail or that audio note or making a video, please, please, please don't sound like an automation or an automaton. And you need to have a script ready, of course. On the other hand, you don't want to blather on and on. So you want to get quick and to the point. Respect their time. So you're going to rehearse, but don't memorize. So I've been talking about this and I'm going to really hit this hard. Keep your communication short and to the point. All right. Ask 1 or 2 questions that matter to your prospect that will help guide them forward. So these are the things that we've talked about before. What are their top 10 questions? What are their top 10 objections? What are their top 10 pain points? These are the types of questions that you could include in those communications. Remember your timing and the cadence. Make sure your prospect does not feel hunted. My 13-step cadence is with B2B is over a 16-week period. And even when you use the triumphant triangle, that's over a 3 business day period. You're going to turn people off if they feel that you're hounding them, especially when you don't deliver value. And even when you do, people don't like to just be hunted. All right, so let's talk about the all-important delivering value. Always emphasize delivering value within your follow-up process. This is absolutely critical, and this is going to give you a competitive edge and set you apart. You are building the like, know, and trust with your prospects. You're giving them a taste of what it's going to be like to work with you. You're building up your credibility. You're building up your trustworthiness. This is so important in their decision-making process and helping guide them to a decision. You want to make it worth your clients or your prospects' time. You want to connect positive associations and generate reciprocal energy. Just like in my story, because I was creating this positive interaction and delivering value, I was actually creating the opportunity for that reciprocal energy with that prospect who became a client. Because when you're doing that, people are, that we're human beings and people are doing good for us. Maybe you're making an introduction, you're providing them with valuable information, you're giving them a useful tip. They want to return the favor. All right. That's the reciprocal energy you want to tap into. And remember to use those emotions and motivations so that you're moving that sale forward. So as you map your follow-up lanes and methods, you're going to pinpoint the tactics that fit each situation. So remember those follow-up lanes that we talked about. There's beginning stages of a relationship. So you met someone at a networking event. You made a connection that they attended a webinar. You met them at a trade show or conference. That's that initial spark. That's the first lane. A second lane is when you've now made a connection. You've actually had a conversation with him. You had a discovery call or strategy call. You went to their office and had a meeting. Whatever that was, that you were able to ask questions so that you could determine if they were a good fit for you and for them, that it was a win-win. And after that conversation, you had a clear positioning that, yes, this is a qualified lead and we're ready to move forward with our follow-up. So, that is a key point here when you're following up. All this follow-up strategy I'm talking about is for a qualified lead that's for a win-win. Now, that doesn't mean that someone couldn't be a partner or a promoter or have a platform that would be valuable to you, but they go into a different type of follow-up sequence. I'm specifically talking about prospects and leads who are qualified and you're ready to move forward to guide them to a sale. So as you've mapped those follow-up lanes, and of course, the next follow-up lane is after you've then moved forward and you're actually negotiating a sale. You've provided them with a presentation or proposal. You've really dived into what that's going to look like to work with you. And then you've closed the sale, and that follow-up lane is still there because now you're nurturing the relationship. And we will talk about that in future episodes. So you want to review and identify your existing materials that can be leveraged, repurposed, or modified to meet your follow-up objectives. Your follow-up should use a multi-channel approach, leveraging tools, templates, and personalized videos. So here's another example. Snail mail or UPS, FedEx, DHL, whatever you use to send out either a card or letter or a package. All right. Make sure you hand address, especially if it's an envelope that's going out, a hand addressed envelope. It shouldn't have a label on it. That immediately implies it's junk mail. Hand address the envelope. I recommend not putting a return address on the envelope, just using a plain envelope, whether it's a standard number 10 or a 9x12, because it's a hand addressed envelope. Someone's going to open that and find out what's inside. All right. Note cards are fabulous ways to thank people for their time, to send them, an introduction, or to give them a piece of information and let them know about an upcoming opportunity. There's also, for packages, there's all kinds of different things you can do. You can do a seasonal survival kit, especially if your client is involved with a heavy trade show season that occurs at a certain time of year. Or you can, tack on to different types of holidays to express your gratitude. You can leverage the tools of the trade in whatever industry they're in. And you always want to use humor and story to tie in. And I know I've told you about my old boot story, and I'm not going to go into that today. So you'll have to listen to some other episodes to get my old boot idea on sending a package, because I'm going to instead tell you about my favorite strategy to deliver value, and it's the triumphant triangle. Now, this is something I created when I was a global VP of sales. In my Fortune 500 accounts and the work I was doing, the triumphant triangle delivers a piece of value in 3 steps. And you're going to begin by choosing the piece of value that you will offer or deliver. And the value must be free, that there are no strings attached. It's a true give. So the triumphant triangle steps are: number 1, you make a phone call. Now you're going to expect to get voicemail. Smile and be enthusiastic. Bring energy into that conversation. Speak clearly and get to the point. Now, you're going to immediately get to the point to deliver the value, and you're going to provide that give to your prospect. And then you're going to slow your cadence down, and you're going to leave your name and your digits and let them know that you're sending an email with this information. Now, number 2, is you send the email immediately after your phone call voicemail. If you actually get somebody on the phone, always make sure that they've got time for a quick call, and let them know it's only going to take 2 minutes. And then you can send them that information. If they want to talk more and you get into a dialogue, fantastic. Your follow-up strategy just worked, and you're going to be able to move that sale forward and get that next appointment. So, but assuming you get voicemail, you're going to immediately send the information that you gave in the voicemail in an email. So obviously you've probably written down your email to begin with, because you've got a template. And so then it's all ready to go. And then you can use that. You can actually literally be looking at it as you make that quick phone call, assuming you're going to get voicemail, and you provide the details that you had noted in your voicemail for your prospect to get the give, that gift. Free and clear, it's a give. Now, once again, the email, you need to keep it clear, concise, and to the point. And your email needs to be quick and easy to read. Don't send something that's, 5 paragraphs, quick and easy. Number 3, third step is you're going to message them. Now, this can be a text, it can be a LinkedIn message, it can be a Facebook or Instagram DM, sort of wherever they hang out and you've made that connection. In 2 to 3 business days, that's when you want to send this extra message. And you follow up with the exact same content that was in the email. If you leave it as a voice note on LinkedIn, it's the same voice note that you left on there on the voicemail. Be your authentic self, leading with value and directly answering your client why. And here are some final stats to reinforce why the value is so crucial in your follow-up. 74% of buyers work with the sales rep, the business owner, the entrepreneur who first added value. And 42% are encouraged to make a purchase when that sales rep, entrepreneur, business owner calls at the agreed upon time. And that's that minimal actionable commitment, such as when you send a fax and you tell them that you'll be calling at a set time. All right. So follow-up is truly an art and one of the most important sales skills that you will ever learn. And you use it in all aspects of your life, not just in sales. And nothing can replace building strong follow-up habits. Follow-up finesse provides you with the solutions to implement on the fly, delivering immediate results and helping you transform from where you are and where you need to be. So thank you so much for tuning in. My purpose is for you to get more clients. Bottom line, don't make this harder than it has to be. Sales should be a win-win. And on behalf of Petite to Queen, I've carved out a limited number of time slots to invite you to hop on an Ignite Your Sales call with me to see what's working, not working, and what you would love to have working. I'm going to see how I might further support you in effectively generating more leads, converting more sales, and fulfilling on your promise as a brand and organization. The fastest way to success is to assure people know that they matter. The best way to make this happen is to build a consistent sales strategy to acquire, convert, and capitalize on every lead. You'll find growing your business is easy and lucrative. Today, I revealed why your fortune really is in the sales follow-up. The key is for you to implement these steps to stop wasting time, energy, and resources. You have the opportunity to jump in and get the support you need for true success. Say yes to you and get on a call with me. I am really, truly gifted at this, and you deserve a shortcut to your success with the right support. You can go to p2q.link/win-win. Our Get More Clients programs are designed for immediate on-the-fly implementation and individuals committed to taking action to moving their business forward. To learn more about our Get More Clients programs, visit our website at petitetoqueen.com. And you can also connect with me on our website and to stay current on all of our insightful advice, breakthrough advantages, and never miss an episode of Get More Clients. Sign up for our weekly Wisdoms newsletter at Petite to Queen. Next week on Get More Clients, I will share how to be a ghostbuster. Ooh. Capture and convert prospects to clients. So I'll see you next week on Get More Clients.